If you compare my average viewership to Twitch subs, I probably, like, pound for pound have the most loyal Twitch community ever.
This is your friend Kyle, also known as YFK, the most popular MLB The Show player in the world.
Like, last year I played the #1 player in the world and I beat him by like 6 runs.
And also one of the best players in the world.
How many perfects do I have in this inning?
Kyle has over 400,000 subscribers on YouTube, but he's most known for having one of the best fan bases in the world from streaming on Twitch. Today we're gonna go through his entire story.
There's so many things that led to this, and a lot of them were things at the time that I thought were the worst things that could happen to me. One little thing can impact everything.
Hit a pen out, pour up heavy, in the lamb on a Eddie. I got 3 rows, run a valley, new deals, never.
So as a kid, like, I was never really on video games or on the internet a lot. It was always just like going out and playing, you know, playing baseball. We played year round pretty much, like, not really extreme travel ball. We weren't going that far, but, you know, we were playing year round tournament stuff. And then always loved baseball. It was kind of I did a little bit of soccer and a little bit of basketball, but mainly baseball. And then ironically didn't have a system to play MLB The Show on, and I didn't start playing until basically in high school I would get in a lot of trouble and I would always have my systems taken away.
Okay.
So I had a friend named Paulo who had a system. We would go to his house, we would play against each other, just, you know, split screen, MLB The Show, whatever it is. And we were like, dude, I feel like we're pretty good at this game. You know, like, I feel like we're good. I don't know who could really beat us. And then went and started playing online. And then that first year I was like top 100 and, you know, just like first year ever playing.
That quick of a jump?
Yeah, no,
That's
because
crazy,
it's
bro.
it's hand-eye coordination, right? So as soon as you know what you're doing, you're either going to be decent at it or you're not. And then, of course, there's ways to get better, but when it's hand-eye coordination, it's hard to really teach somebody who has no hand-eye coordination, right? And then so we naturally were pretty good at it. And then the next year I got a monitor for the first time, and it was instantly #1 in the world, like,
Wow.
instantly.
Wait, what year was that?
That was 2014. And then from 2014 to probably like 2021, I was always like top, or I'm trying to think of 2021. I was taking content really seriously, so I probably stopped being try hard. Probably 2014 to 2020, I was always like top 3.
And how do the rankings work? Like, how does that go about where you get to the point of, you know,
Yeah,
realizing,
so
like, damn.
basically you play these games, and let's say we're both 0 rated. If I win that game, I'll get like 160 rating points. But as you go higher up, it's harder to get points. You want to face higher level guys, right? So there's a lot of guys that like to beat up on players that are low rated, and every win that they get, it's going to be less points. But if you were to face the #2 player in the world and you're #1, you're going to get a decent amount of points if you win. So it rewards you for playing good competition, which is, I was like obsessed with competing. I didn't even care about the record. It was just like, I want to prove to you that like nobody can, you know, beat me.
Right.
And then so that's what it was. And I had multiple accounts that were in the top. I think in 2015 I had 3 accounts in the top 10. You know, so I would just go on another account.
That's insane, dude.
Yeah, we would go crazy on that. And if I lost a game on an account, I would create a whole nother new account because I was obsessed with being undefeated. It was like that.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Wait, how old were you when that first happened?
I mean, I was too old to be sitting in you know, I wasn't making any money then. This was all like ego. Shoot, that was 2015. So, I mean, I was probably like 21, 22 years old, you know?
That's not too old. Come on.
No, I mean, but it's the fact that I didn't have a goal. It's easy to say now. I'll have a couple friends be like, dude, you saw this coming. Like, you knew the vision. You were doing this. And it's like, you're giving me too much credit. I got lucky. I was playing video games. It wasn't like one day I'm going to start doing YouTube and then it'd be cooler if it was like that. It was really just me being lazy, wanting to just compete, be #1 in the world. I just didn't care about anything. Wasn't good in school. I didn't like working for anybody. You know, it was a really weird spot. Ironically, it was very fun. The most fun I've had in my life playing the game at a high level, but it was also probably like the most awkward part of my life too, where it's like, not really doing anything, stuck in the mud, but at least I have this.
So 2014 happened and you became #1 in 2015,
Mm-hmm.
whatever that was. So what kind of like brought you to the point where you're like, damn, this is something I can do like for a job and for a living and stuff like that? Like what kind of made that happen? Was it kind of like all of a sudden #1 and this is like my life now? Or is it kind of more than that?
No, it took a long time. I mean, from 2014 to 2018, I would say, it was just playing the game for fun. There was no benefits. I did start playing wager games in 2018 to try to pay for like community college classes and stuff like that, pay for my phone bill stuff, because I wasn't working full time doing anything. So I would go on Gamer Saloon. Have you guys heard of Gamer Saloon?
No.
It's a website where you can make an account and bet against other people in
That's cool.
in video games, right?
We should do that.
We should do
Yeah,
that.
so I don't know how many games they have, but I know it's very popular amongst like Madden, 2K, and then MLB. And in MLB, I mean, everybody knew who I was. If you play MLB The Show, even though I wasn't doing content yet, you knew my name from the leaderboards, right? And you're not going to be on that site unless you're a good player. So these guys all know the leaderboards. So at first I made an account, had my name on it and my gamer tag, and I immediately was like, oh, there's nobody who wants to play me. So I would start making burner accounts. I would be like, I know one name was like Ken Grippy Jr. So, like something that was like so idiotic where people would be like, yeah, I'm going to play this kid. And then had a bunch of names like that. And then eventually you get to a point where they blacklist you because you're winning too much. You know, I never lost $1 on that site. And
That's insane.
So you're
Yeah.
making real money from it, but it's hard to be or not real money, but you're making money, but it's hard, it's not a sustainable
like,
thing.
I would say I was probably making like $2,000 a month just playing like MLB exhibition games, you know? So it wasn't, at that time, that's a lot of money for me, right? I'm not making any money.
Right.
But yeah, it was just kind of a thing where it might have been a disservice to me because I just kept on like not working hard on anything else and was just like, yeah, I'll just play a wager when I need money, right? And then so I was doing that. There was no thing that thought I could do it full time. Do remember there was a point where in my head I was like, you know what, maybe one day this game will have as big of an esports scene as these other games, and that will be my thing, right? I'll be able to make hundreds of thousands of dollars winning tournaments, which is like such a naive thing to think at that time, to hold out for that hope. But that's something that I was kind of thinking of, but it's not promising. In 2019, I believe it was, I did my first stream where I started getting these donations, and I mean, the Twitch world is crazy. Yeah, I mean, I'm very, very blessed I don't have the biggest audience, but the audience that I do have, they just support the hell out of me. It's so crazy. I mean, you know, the last 2 years, we've been top 10 in the world in Twitch subs, even though, like, if you compare I would say, in reality, if you compare my average viewership to Twitch subs, I probably, like, pound for pound have the most loyal Twitch community ever. You know, because we're lucky if we get 3,000 concurrent viewers, right? I mean, in the beginning of this season, it's easy for me to get that. Like right now, if I go live on Twitch, I'll have like 400 viewers, you know? But the sub counts are always just crazy because of, I don't know, I just got lucky with a following, right? And it started from day one. There was just this guy, his name was IDK Destroyer. I always remember he's the first guy, you know? And he just randomly came in and dropped like $600 in donations.
Wow.
And I'm streaming on a PlayStation. I have a PlayStation camera. Like, if you go back and look at my first videos, you'll see, like, a bookshelf behind me. I was using a rocking chair as a gamer seat. Like, dude, actually, my first stream, I'm not even kidding, I was laying sideways on my bed playing. That's how I would play.
That's crazy.
And I remember I developed the worst back problem because that's how I was playing, because I didn't even have a gamer chair. You know, so it was just, it's so funny to go back and look at that and see, like, the initial start and how crazy it's ended up. But when he did that, he donated all that money, and it was a crazy day. And I was like so like emotional because I was just like, oh my God, like people are willing to support me and help me chase this type of dream.
For something you love too.
Exactly,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And so after that, I was kind of like going on a spiel like on Twitter about like how thankful I am for that night. And I remember somebody reached out. I would say I got to give credit to this dude Magunsky. I don't know if you guys hear that name, remember that name. Magunsky was one of the original guys. So on YouTube, and this is no shade to anybody in the MLB The Show community, it's just facts. There's people that are good at the game but aren't entertaining. You know, that you guys know in every video game, there's the guy that's really good but doesn't really need to talk because people watch him for the game.
Right.
Then there's the people like Tim the Tap Man, right? Who people like to make fun of him for being bad at a game, but he's very entertaining and it's personable. Magunsky was the first guy who combined the both, right? He was a stud, one of the best players in the world, and he was also funny and personable. He was me before I feel I came out, and he's the one that convinced me to do YouTube. He's on a different career path now. I hope everything's going well with that. He just decided that it wasn't for him, really. But I'm grateful for him because he's the reason why I started doing it. And yeah, it was just this huge thing of me going from starting that stream and it going very well to starting YouTube and getting this crazy initial. I mean, the way it started out, this is before short form content too. It was just a boom, like I got 10,000 subs probably within the first couple weeks.
So cool.
Yeah, because, and thanks to Cougs and Fuzzy and these guys, that the good thing about the MLB The Show community is these top guys, and I'm trying to do the same thing that they do because it helped me. They will work with anybody that they just think are good people, right? You guys know how hard it can be to get a collab, a big collab, because everybody wants equal output, right? It's like, okay, I can help this person do so much. What can they do for me? And it's a fair question, right? You're spending the time to do the video. You want to be able to receive something. But they did have the benefit of being able to say, oh, I played the #1 player in the world. So, of course, there is that clickbait title. But they sat there. They helped me set things up. They were just awesome dudes to help me get started out the right way and just got the YouTube stuff going fast.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
This is kind of a random question, but what was like COVID like for you in this? Or was that a great thing for you, bro?
Yeah, I mean,
I was watching like Fortnite stuff, and I was like, people are blowing up, and that wasn't really a thing for me.
Yeah,
like, I wasn't really a big video game guy, but COVID came, and I was like watching streamers all the time. So I'm curious what it was like.
I mean, I used to say it in a different phrase than I'm going to say now because like I have buddies and friends and people that I respect that lost loved ones in COVID. But I used to say, like, it was the best time of my life, right? Because it was career defining for me, actually. And if you look at MLB 21 viewership, it was just insane. I mean, I've done a lot since then, and I've grown a lot since then. And those numbers were comparable to my best numbers I do now. It was just every day. Post a video, 120,000 views for MLB in 2021. And now, this was also the first year that the game had come to Xbox, too.
Right.
So it's just a perfect storm. People are at home watching everything. A whole new fan base is now playing because people had Xbox. They're not going to just get PlayStation just to play MLB. And that was what made it where it's like, oh, okay, like, let's move into this crazy house and do content and have my boy fly out and live with me. And everything changed in COVID, for sure.
That's so awesome, dude.
Yeah, I mean... that's why, like, when there's talks about, like, the lockout and stuff, it's like...
You're like,
excited about it.
I like
people are like, damn it, the lockout, and I'm just like, yeah.
Can we keep this going a little bit, please?
Yeah, exactly. I'll be whispering in their ear, that's not a good deal, man. You guys, you shouldn't do it,
You're playing the other side.
Exactly.
Like, no, man.
I'm just texting my boys like, dude, you hear what they're saying about you? You guys are selfish? Yeah, no, but... No, it's a good... I try to find the benefit in all, like, the bad things and, like, and stuff like that. COVID, it sucked, but another huge part of my story is I worked full-time for my dad for a while, and my dad is the most old-school, strict Japanese guy ever. Like, really tough dude. Me and him had a tough thing because I was not doing well in school. I wasn't doing well in anything, and I was always just trying to hustle to make money and stuff, and he's not a video game guy. He hates anything with
So he had no idea what that was.
Yeah, at the time, he just thinks it's a waste of time.
Right.
Which technically it really was because there was no guarantee what was going to happen, right? But I was working full-time for my dad, and he owns a trucking company. And so I was driving 10-wheelers. Like, my little ass was in a 10-wheeler, like, hauling loads of dirt and rock places and stuff. And ironically, it was actually really fun because I would build good relationships with these guys on the site. And a lot of the jobs, you're just sitting there all day waiting for them to, like, slowly load your truck. So I would just watch, like, Netflix and YouTube and stuff like that. But I was working for my dad for a long time, and when COVID happened, it allowed, like, I would find some steam on YouTube, and then we would be on, like, this job site with a company that would make us work 12-hour days. So it would become a thing where it's like, okay, I started work at 5 a.m. I got home after driving and everything at like 7 p.m. I have basically 3 hours until I need to go to sleep, and I want to eat dinner, I want to shower, I want to stream or record or edit and go to the gym. What do I choose? So I had to make so many sacrifices or sleep 2 to 3 hours a day, right? So there was always something wrong. There was a stretch where I was like, no, we need to make the YouTube shit work because I don't want to drive trucks anymore. And because of that, I'm sleeping 2 hours a day and then just getting like crazy depressed.
Oh yeah.
Right? It's just tough. And then there's also the times where it's like, no, I'm going to prioritize getting sleep. And then my YouTube stuff falls off because I can't do everything, and I didn't have an editor, of course, because I'm not making any money at the time. So it was just a stressful time.
A lot of picking and choosing which way to go.
It felt like that's the first time it felt impossible. It was like, I'm not going to be able to do this because I don't have the time to. And my dad's the last person to talk to be like, hey, like I want to put more time towards this. He would be like, get out of the house then,
Yeah.
Like, and then when COVID happened, it made it where jobs were getting shut down a little more. So I had a little bit more time to focus on it and do the stuff. And that kind of helped my dad. I mean, transparently, my dad was like, when I see a check that you make, like, I can't remember what the number was. It was like a high number at the time, maybe like 200 grand or something like that. Ooh. He was like, I'll let you quit. Right.
That's a pretty high number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's, I mean, for his credit, he didn't want me to just become a guy that just makes regular money. It's like, he was setting me up to take over the business one day, but my dad is not. You have to earn it, and you could earn it 99% of the time, and if you mess up, he'll take it from you.
0.5% of the time.
Yeah, he wants to make sure you are good. Like, there's every once in a while, there's a comment that's like, "Oh, Kyle's like." These are people that clearly don't know me, right? And they'll be like, "Oh, life's easy when you're just like you just start YouTube and da 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 da, and you were spoiled and you got all this stuff." It's like, whoa! And people that know me, it's the complete opposite. I mean, we were the least spoiled. Me and my brother, like, it was crazy. But yeah, that happened. That first year had a solid year, not 200,000 solid. And then the next year, it was like way above that. And he had to give me permission to leave. And in that same year, moved out the house, quit driving, focused on everything. And then when I had the time to focus on everything, then it was like really booming,
And now you're wearing chrome on the chest.
Yeah. Now we have chrome on the chest.
I'm curious, when times got like super hard and you're thinking like, dude, I don't think I can do this. What kept you from quitting? Why'd you keep going?
Good question.
Dude, that is a good question because I really don't know. Like, there was sometimes I would go on YouTube and you can see little gaps where it was like, okay, I posted every day for a week and then 6-month gap. And, I remember you can go on Twitter right now and search it. I don't know how you'd have to do it. The advanced search is different now. But there was a time where I sent like a farewell message of being like, I can't do this anymore. Like, not farewell, but like saying goodbye to the content stuff where I was like, my mental like can't handle this. And I remember I literally told people to unsubscribe to me on Twitch because I was like, if I'm not streaming, I don't want any of your money going to me. Like, make sure I earn that, right?
Respect.
Yeah, it's like, I don't want your money just bleeding away from me because you're supporting me. I don't know when I'm going to be back. And it was this huge thing of me just like, it felt so improbable that I just like gave up. And I wish I could remember of what made me go back. I really don't know because at that time I remember how I was feeling. I think it was just little things of seeing people succeed and how happy they were in doing it that it would remind me, oh, I should just do it, right? Like, I should just keep going. And at least if it doesn't happen, I'll be able to say I gave it my all, which is like the worst feeling though. Like, yeah, you can say you gave it your all where you have no regrets, but knowing you gave something your all and it didn't work out, it sucks because you could have spent that time on other things. And then comes into the thoughts of like, oh, I should have done better in school. I should have done this, right? All of that stuff. But yeah, I mean, looking back at it now, obviously very happy I didn't give up, right? But in that time, I mean, and I feel like at that age, I was like somebody who would give up easily on certain things, right? I would be lazy because I wanted immediate results. And YouTube's not something you're going to get. I got pretty immediate results in the grand scheme of things because you think about how hard it is to get started on YouTube. But at that time, I just wanted things. If I did a video, it's like, I want all the money right now, because that's how I was living at that time. I couldn't tell you what kept me going, honestly. I would probably give credit to my friends that were in the community, like Fuzzy and Cougs, who just kept doing it. And, they're very positive dudes. They'll reach out and kind of give you advice and stuff like that. It would have to be that, probably.
It's interesting because, like, when I'm sure you get asked a million times a day, like, your advice for someone who wants to start streaming. And I think the one that people like overlook because they think it's obvious, but is actually the most important, is that consistency, is like that showing up every single day. So for you, like your story literally is proof of consistency working. You just kept showing up every single day, even when it was super hard, maybe sometimes when it was super easy, but you just kept going no matter what. And like,
it's so funny that you said that, because that is literally what I tell every single person who asks me, whether it's a short answer or a long answer. I say, ignore the numbers and stay consistent. Because if you focus on the numbers, there's going to come a day, like if all you care about is the numbers, there's going to come a day where you're going to want to give up because the numbers aren't always good, right? We were just talking about this the other day. Like, we're doing very well. Some of our YouTube videos we've posted in the last 2 months make us want to cry, right? So that's going to happen. If you ignore that and you just stay consistent and make sure you're doing it, you're giving people the best chance to stumble upon you and build a relationship with you, right? I mean, the worst mistake that I was making at that time was taking those like 6-month breaks or long breaks when it's just like, oh, I'm feeling down on it. But like you said, when you stay consistent, you build that rhythm, and then it's just like going to the gym, right? You're just doing it, and you know you're doing all you can. It feels good. And then the results, you might not see it that day, but you will see it.
Yeah.
And I think that happened. I mean, honestly, COVID, I think, came at a really good time too, because I know COVID came around the time where I was thinking about quitting everything. And then it made it where I had a little bit more time to really focus on it and then see the results that I needed. So it could have honestly been that really saved my mindset on it, because I was done with it. I remember blatantly being just through.
And that was pre-COVID?
Yeah, that was definitely pre-COVID. I remember I remember where I was typing in my dad's like living room in his chair. I was typing the message and stuff. And if I lived there, then it was pre-COVID. But yeah, it was that was a dark time, because it's like, oh, the one hope that I had and the one dream I had to do something I wanted to do, I'm like typing out that I'm done with it. It's like super crazy.
Oh, yeah, stab in the heart, bro.
Yeah,
for sure.
But it's cool to sit here and talk about it, because obviously things ended up being okay.
It's a cool thing to look back at stuff like that and you're like, wow, look where I am now. Like, I'm doing this stuff now, and this is, I'm sure every day for you is, obviously not every day is enjoyable. I'm sure, you wake up every day like happy to.
Yeah, I mean, I'm somebody who does a lot of like self-reflecting and like going back on things, and I would say I'm pretty grateful as a person. I'm able to look back at the things that I had then and things I have now. I have old screenshots and stuff of like, there's this app where you can go on it and delete old photos, and it'll like shuffle it, so you're not just stuck in old photos, you're just deleting storage. And I'll come across photos of like my bank account being negative, like I'm 23 years old, negative $76 from 2 overdraft fees, right? Like all of these things that I was dealing with, and even things I was dealing with like 4 years ago that were like big time problems. And to think of how everything is now and how easy things are now compared to then, because, just where I'm at with everything, it's the connections and everything. It's a crazy world where and I almost don't like how it is, because, there's, and you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about when I say this. When you're younger and you need that help, it's so hard to get that help. When you're already popping and your things are good, everything's given you for free. Everything is so accessible for you. And it's like, damn, I wish I had this when I really, really needed it. Because now I can afford to pay for these services and do this, but there's people that want to do it for free. And it's just so backwards to me, But now I'm instead of thinking negatively on it like that, I just try to be very grateful for how everything is now,
Right.
Yeah, I have a lot of fear, and just in general of like, I don't want to say falling off, but just like I know my passion and my like what I want is never going to fade, but it's like I'm worried about outside things that I can't control, and I sometimes let that affect like how I move day to day. So those like reminders, looking back on shit like from 2019, 2020, when I first started doing these little vlogs and they were getting 50 views, I look at that and I remember like my mindset from then, and that's all the motivation I need now. Cause like you said, like I feel like I have any resource I need at my disposal. I just have to pick a path and then go on it.
Exactly.
And I can get out of any rut that I'm in.
Yeah. And if you talk to yourself back then and you were like, hey man, you had a bad day today, you only got 50,000 views on a video, you'd be like, what?
Yeah.
You'd be like, oh, okay, I ended up okay.
Yeah.
Right? You're also 23. Brother, when I was 23 years old, I was doing some crazy shit, right? Like, you are so ahead of the curve right now when it comes to the content stuff, and I hope you know that. I mean, I'm a very realistic person. I try to tell people not to focus on, like, if somebody that I don't think should be streaming comes up to me and says, I'm thinking about investing all this stuff in streaming, I'm going to tell them what they should focus on instead, because I don't want people to waste their time. You are somebody who I do not envision ever having a chance to fall off. You're too committed to it. You're too knowledgeable. You're too willing to learn. You accept criticism. You always want advice. You're willing to talk about stuff. People like that can't fall off because you're willing to adapt.
Yeah.
The people that fall off are people that can't take advice. They have egos. They think that they could do whatever and there's no consequences. And those are the people that fall off, right? Like the people that think that they are entitled to people's attention and viewership regardless of what they do. You need to adapt and stay in. You need to stay a good person, right? We've talked about the sponsorships and stuff. You have the right mentality on stuff like that.
We've talked about that.
Yeah,
stuff.
I mean, I'm on the opposite end of it, right? Like, and that's why it's good for us to have those talks because it's like, where's the middle, right? Where's the spot where you can be more financially free to do the things you want, but also feel morally good? And that's hard to find sometimes,
Definitely,
especially in this
yeah.
game, right? The good thing for me is I did a lot of worse things morally before to make money. So now it's like, oh, okay, like this is way better. So, but it's different. But these are all good problems to have, right?
Yeah.
Choosing what sponsors you're going to have. But yeah, dude, you're going to be fine.
I appreciate that, bro.
But also, let me be clear, that the fear of falling off is what's going to keep you from falling off. The people who have the mentality that they're never going to fall off and don't get that anxiety, there's going to come the day where they get too comfortable and they're going to get
Yeah, you've already
sick.
failed at that point.
Yeah.
You've already failed.
I-
It doesn't matter when, but you're going to fail at some
Exactly,
point.
yeah.
That's how
I
it
actually
goes.
started therapy like 3 months ago or something like that because I just want to always be mentally right? And there's
Yes, dude.
so many times, every year I go through, I would say a couple months span where I'm just like fucked, like super depressed. I don't know what leads to it. Sometimes it's like a seasonal thing, but I just wanted to get right, And one thing I talked about him is like constant anxiety when it comes to certain things. And he was the one that kind of changed my perspective on that, where he's like, your anxiety is what's keeping you working constantly and doing the things and evolving and adapting. Like, it's the reason why I feel in MLB The Show, I've been able to stay where I'm at and not let anybody, I don't want to say pass me because it's not a competition with them, but also if somebody's watching somebody else, it means they're not watching you, at least on Twitch. So it's like, it is a friendly competition. You want to keep everybody captivated. And I do think it's totally changed my perspective on anxiety, where it's like, oh, okay, that fear of falling off is actually a good thing.
It's a tool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes
Exactly.
total
Oh,
sense.
yeah.
It is. And it's a very useful tool. Like, some people have health anxiety. And so because of that, they work out every day and they eat healthy. Sounds like it's helping you, right? Is that how you are?
Oh yeah, bro.
I randomly go through phases like
Yeah.
that where I'm like, wait, what if I have a heart attack because I'm eating bad? And then those next few weeks, I'm just the cleanest eater
Yeah,
on
sure.
earth.
Yep.
And then I get comfortable and I'm like, oh yeah, all right, you're good. You took the heart attack away. Let's go
Ups
get
and
the
downs.
triple dipper.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So it's crazy. But yeah, I've changed my perspective on anxiety. There's some anxieties I wish I could get to go away, like the plane stuff. But
Oh, you don't like flying?
I'm better at it now because
Yeah,
I'm doing
I
it so
hate it
often.
too, bro, yeah.
But I'm not very good with it.
I hate to sitting tight and it's like I have no control over what's happening right now.
For me, like, my biggest fear about it is if I want to get off, I can't.
Can't.
And that's
Can't.
like,
That's
yeah.
that's my biggest fear.
Yeah.
Not even planes in general, just the fact if I'm not in control of a situation.
So do you get iffy on bridges too?
Yes, dude. Because
Okay.
I don't think it's not even I think something's gonna happen. It's more just what if something does happen?
Yep.
I don't even know. I have no
Yeah.
control over it, and I hate that feeling.
yep.
I hate that feeling
It's
so much.
bridges, planes, elevators, ski lifts.
Okay, dude. So
yeah.
this is crazy off topic, but I ski a lot. That's the biggest thing in my life is skiing.
Yeah.
And randomly within the last 3-4 years, I ski 70 times a year.
Yeah.
And
Damn,
last-
70 times a year?
Bro, he's legit.
That's a lot of
but
skiing,
it is,
dude.
but this year I've only skied 3 times, so it's kind of sad. But the last 3 years, out of nowhere, I've been able to go on crazy lifts, crazy stuff. I've never once been so scared of chairlifts my whole life. I get on a lift and I'm shaking, my palms are sweating, but it never happened to me as a kid. And now it's dude, I'm sitting there and I'm oh my God, I'm shaking.
Yeah.
What the hell is wrong with you, dude?
I'm glad you mentioned that. So I had to do a lot of research on it because I was genuinely thought I was schizophrenic.
Yeah.
And they're intrusive thoughts. That's what it is. Yes. You have the feeling of what if I jumped, and you know you have the option to jump.
We talked about that.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's intrusive thoughts, right? Like when I think about going to the Grand Canyon or I think about these things, the first thing I think is like jump.
Dude,
and it's like, whoa, why? Why?
I remember going to the Grand Canyon.
I think, bro. This is literally exactly
when I was 18, I went on like a family trip to the Grand Canyon. I did the thing where I went the ledge once, and I was like, I'm done. I'm not going
I don't trust myself,
there.
bro.
I'm on the
exactly.
taking selfies and stuff. And I'm like, I'm good now.
Yeah, and being transparent, that's why I never did drugs or anything, because I was always scared that my mind would be altered, and then I would convince myself to do something horrible, right? And it's just not being in control.
But be the bigger person, you know your limits at that point. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's kind of, dude, it's a weird feeling, bro. It's a weird feeling, dude.
I had a big panic attack on a chairlift at these zip lines in Canada.
Yep.
And I didn't know I had a thing of ski lifts, and we're going, and it stopped for a little bit, and I just looked down, and I remember, I mean, you can't be more sweaty than I was, and I had convinced myself that I was gonna jump and kill myself.
Yeah.
It was like the craziest, scariest thing, and I was like, wait, but why? Like, I don't want to do that. And it was like, too late. You're done. You're doing it.
This is like a mind fuck right now. I'm like, this is exactly how I think, bro. I'm like,
but this is what's important is half of the anxieties is thinking there's something wrong with your head.
Right.
Once you know, like, oh, these are intrusive thoughts, and there's millions of people that have the same thing, you're like, oh, I'm not crazy, and now I'm just okay with it, right? That's what it is. But planes are the one thing that I can't breathe through. Or I couldn't. Now I'm good. I've been flying fine, but there was a time where on planes I would have a little mini anxiety attack every single time.
Gripping the chair.
Yeah, it's just like, fuck, dude, like I'm just stuck on here and there's nothing I can do and I'm about to freak out. It's the fear of potentially freaking out.
Right, because essentially you do know nothing's going to happen.
Exactly.
But it's like deep down you're like, but what if?
Yep.
What if, dude? Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
You become scared of the fear of it.
Yeah.
So then that's what the anxiety is. I used to have this thing where I used to throw up before like things, like if I was nervous before like a date or hanging out with my buddies, like random things, I would just throw up. So then it became a thing where I would get to a situation and I would get so scared that I was going to throw up that I would throw up. Versus just like actually throwing up out of anxiety.
Right.
And I went to therapy, got through it. Like she gave me some. It was when I was like 15, and she gave me some really good advice and kind of told me something similar to that. She's like, "You're actually scared of the fear or whatever. You're anxious of the fear." That's helped me. I still get here and there. I get a little nervous, like not throwing up, but just panicky. But it's just I don't know. I don't know how to get.
It's crazy how it works, man. Like when I think about a plane, I'm not thinking, "What if the plane goes down? What if da 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 da?" I think, "What if I have an anxiety attack?"
Yeah,
that's what it is,
dude. Yep.
And it's like, well, that's how you're gonna have it if you're worried about that. So
exactly,
it's the mind is powerful and it's scary, and that's why therapy is. You know, I'll never force anybody to. I'll never like try to what's the word, like convert somebody into a therapy person. But if you struggle with something, I do think it's good to at least try to talk to somebody, right?
And
we're big therapy guys because your mom.
My mom's a therapist.
Oh, okay, awesome.
We went to the same therapist in high school.
Yeah, we did.
Miss
Polak.
But my mom always told me the same thing. It's just like, dude, like if you have anxiety, it's not a bad thing. Everyone has it. It's about how you handle it. You know? My mom was great with that stuff.
Awesome.
I mean, that's to have that. You know?
Yeah, that's a good.
That's also a weird thing too. Though. Your mom, because I don't want my mom to be my therapist. You know,
no, that can't. Right, that can't happen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But she kind of guides me in that direction. I guess. I could say, yeah.
Yeah, no, that would be tough. It's like, Mom, I'm really struggling. Well, maybe you should do the dishes right now.
Times when I was younger, bro, I would have something like that. I'm like, Mom, I'm so like sad today, and she's like, okay, let's talk about it. And then 10 minutes later, she's like, go clean your room. I'm like, Mom, come on.
Yeah, it has to be a non-biased party, you know. But I'm glad both of you are on board with doing stuff like that. If you're ever feeling down, obviously, or you could talk to me, you know. No, but I mean, having supportive friends that understand it, right? Like, there's nothing more uncomfortable than talking to somebody about stuff that you know they don't really believe in, or there's people that truly don't believe in like mental illness or depression. And I envy those people to be so.
Honestly, I'd love to be like you, bro. You're probably living a great life, dude.
Exactly. Be so happy and that you just never. You're like, how could somebody be depressed? That's sick.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the craziest thing about depression is I started getting it the worst once I bought my first house. So, like, at the peak pinnacle of, like, my success, I got in the worst depression I've ever been in my life.
It's crazy.
Did you feel like you accomplished anything you need to accomplish?
That is exactly what it was.
Yeah.
It was like, so this is the end of the story.
You finished the game.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's always that thing you're trying to chase, right? Like, no matter how good you're doing on YouTube, you want 1 million subs.
Yeah.
Right? No matter what, everybody has a dream of having the house, of doing all this stuff. Once I bought the house, Dude, when I tell you, like, it was like nothing mattered anymore. Like, I got in the most the house could have burnt down and I wouldn't have cared. Like, everything could have gone bad. I was just numb. It was the craziest. And I remember it was right before Seattle All-Star break. And then so we were at the house for a couple weeks and I had to fly to Seattle for the thing. And even Fuzzy and all these guys were just like pulled me aside and I didn't even mention nothing. They're just like, dude, like, is everything good? Because these are guys that have traveled with me before, and they just knew something, and there was some bad shit going on, you know? And I was just like, damn, like, it was such a bad time, but when people have the mindset that, like, money can buy happiness, it's like, no, sometimes it's actually the complete opposite.
Right.
Because some people hold out on the hope where it's like, one day I'm going to be successful and get this money, and then it's going to be good. And then once they get to that point and they aren't feeling good, that's when you lose hope of a lot of stuff. I think that's why a lot of, like, a Robin Williams, guys like that,
Yeah, dude.
stuff like that can happen because you're just like, nothing's going to fix this.
Right.
And I feel horrible for people like that, right? For me, it's about having the anxiety of needing to find another goal to chase. And then I have something new again. It's like a game. I want to chase towards something. The second that I felt like I completed the game was really bad spot
Because
for
a
me.
lot of people, like, if you're, again, you have a goal, everyone has goals
Mm-hmm.
in life. If you want to reach that goal and that's just kind of the only thing in your brain, you don't have
Yeah.
a plan after the goal. So it's like you just think that I'm going to reach this goal and everything's going to be great. And you don't know when you're going to reach up, you just think, like, oh, I'm going to get to this goal. And all of a sudden, all my problems are going to go away.
Yeah.
So how'd you get out of that like
Yeah.
slump?
I was in it for, I would probably say, about 4 months maybe, where it was just like a deep depression, you know, where, I mean, people knew, like, it's, you can't hide that. When you're in it for that long, you can't really hide it. And then I just remember kind of framing my brain where it's like, well, this doesn't have to be your forever home. You could get something else. Like, you can work towards having this or work towards having, I basically just found other goals to have in my head, you know? And I mean, if I'm really going through a bad spot mentally, I'll start going to the gym a little bit more and like waking up and feeling accomplishments right away, and that'll feed into it. But just things like that, you know, like I can't even say I overcame it because next year the same thing will happen, right? It's a yearly thing for me. It's just, it happens. It happens and then I get through it.
Yeah.
But while you're going through it, it's hard to believe that you're ever going to get through it. And then like right now when I'm like I'm in a really good spot right now. It's like, oh, how do I feel like that sometimes? Like, it doesn't make sense.
Right.
It doesn't make sense, but
No, it
it's
doesn't
going,
make sense.
it's going to happen,
Exactly.
right? But yeah, just like, I mean, this year I bought my real dream house, you know,
Good for you.
and
Congrats.
thank you,
You're
bro.
welcome.
And I was worried I was going to feel that again because my motivation was to get my dream house from that one. And then now that I got my dream house, I was like, is it going to happen again? And it didn't. I think the IRL stuff is really keeping me motivated, wanting to also, I developed a mentality where it's like, your story is going good and is on a good pace to end well. Now can you help other people's story end well, right? So I started doing the IRL stuff because it would be cool to be able to give like Mario and, you know, these guys a way to have a full-time career doing things we love. I think that would be awesome, you know, and right now it looks like it could be a possibility with things that we're able to do, which would be cool. So trying to like frame my mind to be more like that. So where even if I feel I'm good, there's other things I could be doing to be feeling accomplishments and helping others,
Right.
you know?
That's
yeah.
awesome.
I mean, the IRL stuff is like a whole new game, which is probably really fun because it's like
Yeah.
it's like if I started Twitch, it'd be like me just learning all of these things for the first time,
Yeah.
and it feels like I'm learning a video game for the first time. So I know how you feel. Like for me, like when YouTube's going good for me, it feels like I'm hitting high scores and hitting perfects.
Yeah, yeah.
Will, if
Now you're talking about
no, something like that. So yeah, I'm excited for you, man. What are your biggest what are you most looking forward to with the IRL stuff?
I mean, it feels like we've kind of like reached the pinnacle very quickly when it comes to, obviously, like my favorite part is starting from scratch and going from, we're not starting from scratch because I'm putting on the main channel and, you know, we switched everything over to the other channel with the MLB stuff. But for the MLB stuff, I was able to be at the top of the gaming thing. And because of that, there's not really a need to change anything or improve. You just want to stay afloat. If you need to make some changes to adjust to new metas like the short form content stuff, then we can do that, but we just try to stay afloat there. And it's just a thing that we've just become content because there's nothing to really try to improve on. To go from that to being at the bottom of the barrel of like, oh, I'm starting IRL and these guys are all doing this and they're kings of it, and I have to try to find a way to get people to watch me do this stuff as well. I love that. I love that chase of being like, okay, I'm going to get these people to want to watch me and these people to want to watch me, and watching the subscriber count grow and the view count grow, right? I'm so excited to basically feel the accomplishments I felt like the first time I hit 100,000 subs, right? Because it's such a new ball game. Like the first time I get a video that hit 500,000 views for the IRL stuff, it's just going to be, these are all new first highs that I'm going to get to feel again that we haven't felt in a while. In MLB The Show, if we have a good video, it's just like good. It should have been a good video, right? And it's kind of made it where we focus on the negatives and then we don't appreciate the positives as much. With this, we're enjoying the whole process. Even if we had 2 dud videos, I was so excited to just kick it with you and hang out with Eric and do this stuff because it's like, it's just fun. It's experiences. I'm with my little brother and one of my best friends, with my girl. Like, we're just chilling, and even if we have a bad content week, we're still going to have a good week together.
Right.
And that's what I noticed. It's such a fun process of, instead of being in my room just doing my stuff, I'm meeting cool people.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
It's so cool. And I mean, to do what we've already done, I mean, when you talk about the top of IRL baseball, when it's, you, Baseball Bad Bros, Eric, and we've already done as much, like we've done a lot of stuff already in our first couple months of doing it. So I'm grateful for the connections I've made with you guys and how you guys have welcomed me on board with just I mean, you guys have done a lot to already help me, and I really appreciate it, and I just think that the whole process has been electric. These guys out there love it too because they get to tag along, they get to meet creators that they've watched for a while,
it's a cool feeling, dude. Yeah.
Oh, dude, it's awesome. It's like a full circle moment.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, I mean, the content itself is just so fun to create too. It's not boring to me. With MLB The Show, there's half the year where I'm bored pretending to be excited about things. And with this, it's truly exciting. Watching these people compete on the 2v2 series, and then also just doing the one-offs with some of the homies that I've never done content with. It's just such a different experience.
So many personalities. That's what I love about it. You meet so many different people, and but they're all doing the same thing. You know what I mean? It's just cool to kind of pick people's brain. I love that part of life in general.
Different personalities, different backgrounds, but everybody has that one common goal.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
It's so cool.
It's like even being on a sports team in general too. It's like the same thing. You all doing the same thing, but you're all from different parts of the world, country, whatever it is, and I love that part.
Yeah.
I got a good question. So when I get to talk to like an MLB person through like a sponsorship, like a player, when I through a sponsorship or whatever, and I just have like a base question I want to ask them, and I think it's a good question. This is what I ask them. If you go back and give yourself a piece of advice from when you're like, let's say like 18-year-old you. If you could give your 18-year-old you a piece of advice, what would you say? I think that's a good question.
No, that is a good question. It is a good question.
I don't know what my answer would be though. That's the thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question when you kind of have to like think about it, right? I mean, 18 years old, that was not a good Kyle either. I mean, I would say like something corny, like start earlier, like
that would actually been my answer. I think that's a great answer.
Because I mean,
I don't know.
with everything, like I think I was doing jiu-jitsu for a while, right? And
hell yeah, bro.
Yeah, and I mean, I did it for like maybe like a year, but off and on, right? Never got a belt promotion or anything like that. And I remember the people that I was training with were white belts too, and they were just regular dudes. They weren't like, we roll and, they were just regular. And I remember like 5 years later, 6 years later, like going on Instagram and seeing some of these guys, and like some of them had brown belts, one of them had a black belt, and you're just like, damn, they stayed with it. And they got to see the full awesomeness of their work. And I remember just being like, why can't I ever be consistent with something?
I feel that. Yeah.
I honestly like have to be negative about myself, and I really feel like content is the only thing I've been consistent with in my whole life. I can't stay consistent in the gym. I can't stay consistent with dieting, anything like that. But with content, I'm able to. And I think it's because that anxiety we talked about, it never gives up for this. I'm always in fear of falling off, right? Because it's a reasonable thing. We've seen people who are at the peak of the peak fall off.
Kent Murphy.
Yo, that's crazy.
Did he?
That's a
I
crazy
don't know
pull.
anything about him. I know that he was the dude that did the baseball stuff, right?
Yeah.
But did he have like a crazy fall off?
Well,
We
I don't even.
We were
know.
just talking
Yeah,
about
we were
this
just
with
talking
Will
about it.
from the Bat Bros and Sim, and we were like talking about who were like the OGs of baseball YouTube, and it was like Domingo. What was his name? Domingo
Ayala. Yeah.
and then Kent Murphy, and it was like skit based stuff.
Okay.
And then we're thinking like, man, they were like running this shit in like 2013.
Yeah.
What happened to them? We went and looked back, and they're still some of them are still posting whatever, but it's like no views. They're doing the same exact
yeah.
stuff. Over
Well,
and
we
over.
found out who said they saw him at a bar working at his bar.
They saw Kent
Oh, dude.
Murphy working
Yeah.
as a bartender in like the middle of Iowa.
What? I
Damn,
was like-
that's so brutal.
But I think he got in that. It was like he was the peak of it, and there was no one else really doing that stuff at
Yeah.
that point. So he had, he thought he made it, and
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
fell off, whatever. But
The one thing that I'll say to add on to your question is that if 18-year-old Kyle to 18 to 22-year-old Kyle had the success I have now, it would have ruined my life. I would have been like, it would have been so bad.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
that's
have known
part
what
of
to
it.
do with the money. Like had huge issues with gambling and stuff then too. It would have been a problem. I believe that God has has His way with what's going to happen with you. I believe in the butterfly effects of everything happens for a reason. Everything happened to set myself up to where I'm at right now, and I'm thankful for it. So honestly, maybe if I talked to 18-year-old Kyle with what I truly believe in, I would just be like, "You're good, bro. Like just
Yeah.
you're
Genuinely,
good."
though.
Well, yeah, because you like where you're at.
Yeah,
now, so
I wouldn't
don't-
want to change anything,
Yeah.
because I talk about that a lot, the butterfly effect thing, because, dude, in order for me to start playing MLB The Show, I had to get kicked out of my high school freshman year. When I got kicked out of my freshman year, there was 2 high schools that I was eligible to go to that were near my dad's house, and there was 1 spot left at Hillsdale where I ended up going to high school, and I got the last spot, which I was miserable about because I was scared of my dad, didn't want to live with my dad, but that's what ended up happening. Because of that, I met the dude Paulo, who I ended up playing MLB The Show with, and if none of that happened, I don't end up in this position.
Right.
Wow.
If I just do decent in school, I don't end up in this position. There's so many things that led to this, and a lot of them were things at the time that I thought were the worst things that could happen to me, and they ended up being the best things that could have ever happened to me. Right? It's just so crazy. One little thing can impact everything, and it's wild. So maybe I would try to not talk to my 18-year-old self.
Yeah, you don't want to mess. It's like
I don't really
Back to
know
the
about
Future.
that.
You don't want
I know.
to mess with that.
I'd go back and be like, look at this fucking idiot, dude. He's I'm like, dude, clean your room or something. I'd say something like that. Yeah.
I have a couple more questions.
Yeah, go
but-
for it.
So Dan and I play MLB The Show a lot.
Mm-hmm.
We have when you walk into our apartment, first thing you see is a list of wins and who does what.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he's spanking me right now. And I'm
Yeah.
curious what you think the score would be between one of us versus you.
Oh God. On what difficulty?
We wouldn't get out of the first inning. All right. If
Well, Mercy Rule doesn't
we
kick
play
it to
on-
the 4th.
okay,
So
well, we would play. We play on All Star?
I don't even know- I
Veteran,
don't even
and then
know
what's
what
the one
we're
after
on.
Veteran?
I mean, it's All Star.
It's All
It
Star.
would get really ugly. Yeah.
You play on what Legend?
Yeah,
Legendary?
we play on Legend.
That's the
I
highest
mean,
one.
but yeah, I mean, on All Star, like what camera views do you guys use hitting?
I use
camera
Strike
view-
Zone 2.
Strike Zone 2.
You use Strike Zone 2?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the PCI, we use a little the diamond. Like we don't use the whole PCI. We use
I'm
the
gonna
little
say
one.
you guys might not score a run, and then in the 4 innings, I'd probably put up like 25 runs on you.
Like that's like
I think-
it's just such a mind for me. 'Cause I'm
Yeah.
like how I don't understand how you're that good. Like that's what I'm like what?
25 might be a stretch, but it's all
No,
star.
but I believe,
right?
I 100% believe it. I'm just like what makes like
I'll
blows
say
my-
this:
it truly
there's
blows
a,
my mind.
yeah, there's a 0% chance they would get past the 4th inning. Like that's for sure. But it's just about it. Certain games reward you differently, right? Like you could play every game at Coors. One game the ball might be dead. The other games it might be flying. But like on All Star, it's not even going to be enjoyable to play somebody like me and like these top guys. 'Cause
so insane, dude.
the pitches are too slow. Like at a certain point, you need to be able to fool us with like cutters or sinkers inside. At that speed, it's too easy to read everything. It's just not even going to be fair. You would need me to line out a lot.
Yeah.
Like you would need perfect
Perfect
line outs
You
and
and I
stuff
are
like
like
that.
striking out against like
Yeah,
Ricky Mode or something.
we're just
I'm
not
like,
good.
Yeah.
But we haven't
We're just not good.
played that much. I don't know if my hand-eye coordination's that great.
Yeah,
So it's one of those things. Like naturally, I don't think. And you've put in so many hours.
So many
too.
hours.
Yeah, it's muscle
All
memory.
the best guys.
It's
like,
insane. But like what? like what's the best part of your game? Would you say?
I used to be amazing at pitching. When I was like one of the best players in the world, my ERA was always under like 3, like, which is crazy for online. The game was also a little bit less rewarding then. It was a little bit harder. Now my pitching's like my worst part, but I mean I'm a pretty good hitter, you know. Like I would say that's probably it. I just get stupid now though. Like I used to be smart and do things, and now like I get thrown out doing dumb shit trying to get second.
Dude. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
not good.
What do you rank right now? Is there?
I don't. So in order to be ranked high, you need to be able to play a lot of games. So my record is still going to look crazy, but I don't play nearly enough to be anywhere on the top of the leaderboards. I'll make World Series in order to get the rewards to debut the guys, and then I'll play on another account, do a series on that account. I would say skill-wise, like last year I played the number 1 player in the world and I beat him by like 6 runs, right? So there's ways for like, if I play the number 1 guy in the world, if we play 10 times, I might win once or twice, you know? The other times he might mercy me, right? Like these guys are amazing. But when you're good enough, you can beat anybody, right? Like the Dodgers on a bad day can lose to the Rockies. Yeah. And that's kind of how it is, right? You just have an off day. I would say I'm probably still top 40, 50. If we were playing a wager game where I'm sitting locked in, there's not a lot of people that can beat me.
It's so crazy.
That's the difference. Is like that's me going off of like, oh, I'm doing a team build and I face a guy. But in reality, when I do these tournaments, like we did a tournament for St. Jude's with the content creators and stuff, and they had me in it, which is like kind of questionable. It's like it's kind of unfair, and it was 3 games, 3 mercies in a row, like the fastest tournament ever. And there was like, all right, like, you know, but things like that, when I really need to lock in, it's different.
Yeah.
That was probably my biggest strength, was I was known as like just the most clutch guy. Like in tournament moments, in anything, if I would just make crazy comebacks, in big games I would always win.
Yeah, that's
you know,
crazy.
that was just how it was with tournaments and stuff. On Twitch, they do these things called bounties. And basically it's where somebody will be like, I'll gift you 100 subs if you steal home, or if you hit 4 home runs with so-and-so, or you hit for the cycle with so-and-so. And for some reason, I'll just always do it.
I love that.
Right? If I know I have to, like
Yeah.
when I lock in, it's just good. And if I play in the morning, nobody's beating me. I always play late at night. That's why like I'll lose some games 'cause I'm tired. I would say when I'm awake in the day, I'm probably still a top 15 player in the world. I truly believe that.
I believe you 100%,
yeah,
dude.
It's like I'm on Legend and I'm just like, nobody's getting, like, there's those games where you're not getting out.
It's probably such a cool feeling. I want that feeling.
Do you have any other games where you're like just like crack that, or
No.
It's just
I didn't really play a ton of video games. I love Fortnite, honestly. Like, I still like it. I mean, I'm good enough to where, like, if you're just a guy in a lobby and you're playing builds, like, probably gonna shit on you.
Yeah.
But I'm also friends with some of the best Fortnite players in the world, like Reet and Epic Will, like Clicks. I've hung out with Clicks and stuff. These guys are the greatest.
Insane, bro. Yeah.
I mean, that game to me is the hardest game. Like, that game in like Rocket League, there's games where the skill gap's just crazy. Those are the hardest games in the world, and to be at the peak of that, you're him.
Yeah, you have to be, right?
Yeah, for MLB The Show, it's just hand-eye coordination.
So what settings are you using?
On
MLB The Show. So you're batting and you're pitching.
Use that weird pitching one where you got to do the thing.
Yeah, I don't
Pinpoint. You guys don't use Pinpoint?
No,
we don't.
bro.
Oh, dude.
We don't
I
use Pinpoint.
30
I don't even know how it works.
Yeah,
30
we're not
nothing.
good.
Like,
no, we're not good.
No, we're
Yeah.
not good. We're not good. We're not good.
If you can't paint corners, it's just
I can paint
dumb.
corners with meter.
Dude, it's gonna get ugly.
Yeah.
I really think it's gonna get ugly. Like,
Definitely. I mean, I fucking suck. So.
yeah. I use Pinpoint for hitting. I would suggest you guys use Strike Zone. If you don't like Strike Zone, use Strike Zone High. Don't use 2 or
That's
3.
what you use.
Don't use 2 or 3.
No.
Use Strike Zone High.
I use Strike Zone. Yeah, I like the high one.
Yeah.
Strike Zone's a nice little centered one, and then a good zoom in amount. Strike Zone High is a little less zoomed for the people who don't like that, and then it's also, instead of it being like that, it's kind of more like that, you know? So it doesn't necessarily look super higher. It's just more of a straight-on view, and it helps with, like, for me, it helps against Randy Johnson. Some lefties, especially if I'm using
That's your
short
demon,
guys.
Randy Johnson.
Yeah, with shorter guys and shorter strike zones, Strike Zone High helps. But if you're using guys that are like 6'2", like basic guys, like the Ketel Martes and the Chippers, the guys that are regular strike zones, Strike Zone is the best camera, I think.
I'll be switching that tonight.
All right. So if you have any advice for someone watching who wants to get nasty at the show,
Watch my hitting tips video. That's
Yeah.
what I would say.
Hell yeah.
No, yeah, I would say just like a lot of people are obsessed with they're like, what do I do before I go into ranked? And like, what do I do? How do I practice before that? It's no, go into ranked. You got to get beat up a few times to learn how to fight, right? Like that's how it is. You just got to learn. You got to go and face people that are trying to beat you and see how people pitch online is very different than how the computer will pitch in custom practice. You are going to be facing sinkers and cutters that are jamming you every pitch. You want to face that, you know? How you guys face each other, it's going to be so much like you guys probably, now that I'm really thinking about it, you wouldn't score a run because
no, probably not.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I know I pitch differently on All-Star than I do Legend. I know how it needs to be pitched on All-Star to there's certain things, certain difficulties where the PCI doesn't get as low. So if you paint low, the PCI can't physically get in the middle of it to hit a line drive. You're going to ground out every time or swing and miss, right? There's certain difficulties where Battle Royale is All-Star difficulty. Yep. You play different. Yeah, it's crazy. But when you play for so many years, you just know, right? It's like I don't have to practice anymore. It's like riding a bike.
Yeah, I want to be good so bad, but I'm never gonna be good.
Yeah, my game's college football. That's like one.
Really?
Actually, like when I was 15 or 16, I obsessed over Madden. Like Madden and college football is the same thing pretty much. So when I was obsessed with Draft Champions, which is kind of like Battle Royale, but for Madden. And I remember cracking the top 100 in Draft Champions specifically, and it was like all-time moment in my life.
Yeah, that's
like if I was at a point where like if I lost a game, I was going to be pissed and it wouldn't make any sense and I'd break a controller. It was getting kind of bad. Yeah. But yeah, that's one. I think we just have obsessive personalities. Not with the show because I haven't played enough, but like in general, like when you have an obsessive personality, like I'm that
and I'm so fucking competitive. Like I just that's bad. It's bad. Sometimes.
Dude, I feel you. I mean, like we could play tic-tac-toe right now.
Bro, I'm beating your ass. Like
it's just so crazy. But I think it's a good thing. It brings joy to our lives, right?
Yeah,
because you want that feeling of accomplishment.
For sure.
Like golf has become one of my biggest things, and I just love to compete, right? But golf is so beautiful because you can compete with yourself. You're playing a course. You know what your personal best was. You could try to beat that
every time, no matter when you're playing. It's like my favorite sport. Right now.
You don't have to depend on somebody else being there to play it, like baseball, right? So I love golf for that reason.
And you can also find zen in golf too. Like I'll go out and play alone sometimes, and like it's just you just one with like the ground. You know what I mean? It's like I love golf, dude. It's a great sport.
It's beautiful. I think a lot of baseball players, there's a reason why they love golf so much.
Definitely.
Yeah. No, that's been. I need to find my love back for that. That's something that's also helped me stay mentally sane a little bit. Just going out and walking on the course, having that to kind of work on, where it's like, okay, the YouTube stuff, that's going well, but my golf game, I need to work on this. And then you go and practice that. So having other hobbies and stuff that you really look forward to doing throughout the week is definitely important too, to not get burnt out of life like I was feeling.
For sure.
From your career with YouTube, Twitch, the show, anything, who's been the craziest person you've gotten to meet because of, the career path you have? Oh,
okay. So I've made a lot of like close online friends, like Carl Anthony Towns is somebody I play a lot of games with and do videos with and stuff like that. But like, I'm not somebody who gets super starstruck when it comes to celebrities and stuff. For me, my biggest one was MMG, because he was the guy that I looked up to when it came to content. When he's the one who reached out to me to initially do an MLB The Show video, because he was like, I'm going to try MLB The Show, like I want to do it with you. And I remember that was the one where it was like, oh, damn, this is awesome. For me, it's when I do collabs with other content creators that have done everything that I'm striving to accomplish that are involved in other communities. So like D. When me and Destroyin first started becoming close with doing all this stuff together, it was like, damn, like he actually wants to do this stuff with me. And, that's when it was kind of like the big moment of understanding like things have gotten pretty cool. When I do the stuff with the baseball players, it's usually hit or miss. Some of the guys don't have the personality that... for me, I don't care about the name. If we can't have fun and my stream's not going to be excited to have you on, we're not going to do anything. Right? I could tell you guys off camera. I'm not going to put them on blast. There's one very popular NFL player now. He's very popular in college, but I did a stream with, and it was the most boring thing I've ever done in my life. Right? there's another NFL player. Actually, yeah, there's a couple NFL players that were like that. And I was just like, I'll never do anything with them again. I don't care what it is, because it was just not entertaining for anybody. If I'm bored doing it, imagine how the viewers feel, right?
Sure, dude.
So I've stopped being really like aggressive on trying to get collabs like that. I would say Karl Anthony Towns is the biggest athlete, but then the craziest ones for me, like heart-wise, are MMG and Destroying, you know? Dude, that's one thing I want to say too before we get off, is like, do not be afraid of being inspired by other people. It's not a thing where it's not copying. It's an art form, right? And everybody's gonna have inspiration. I'm glad that you can say, yeah, I took inspiration from D and did the shit that he was doing. That's what I did with MMG. What he was doing for Madden, I would think, how can this work for MLB? Right? That's what it's about. It's about learning from others. It's about, you know, I love that. So, yeah, D's a good person to model after when it comes to the IRL stuff.
He's the man. He was really nice, too. Like, he was super cool.
Awesome, dude.
Yeah.
You know, awesome, dude.
Well, that's all I got, dude. Thank you. Really appreciate it,
We
bro.
really appreciate it. It was awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Hit a pen out, pour up heavy. In the lamb on a 80. I got 3 rolls, run a valley.